Hey YouTube, it's Kathy. Here's a little story time. Yesterday was one of my days off, and as I usually do on my days off, I was pre-making some videos. And while I was in the editing process of this Sunday's video, I get a phone call from my local bookstore. They were calling to let me know that something I pre-ordered had come into the store and that I could pick it up at any time. Now, if you've been here for a while, you probably know that I work at a library and therefore get most of my books through the library. So I only buy books when I am super excited for them, and I knew exactly which book it must be. The thing is, that book isn't out until May 22nd, and yesterday's date was May 17th. But it wasn't like I was gonna tell my bookstore that. So I walked down to the bookstore and promptly picked up my copy of the Brightsiders by Jen Wilde. Don't mess with the girl in the purple lipstick. Since this is brand new, I'm going to keep away from spoilers and give you my initial thoughts. If you are unfamiliar with Jen Wilde, this was one of my most anticipated books of this year, which is why I'm super excited that not only did I get it early, I finished it today and I want to talk about it. The premise of this book is that Emmy is a rock star in a band called the Brightsiders with her two friends Ryan and Alfie. Although Alfie has been out as genderqueer since before the band even formed, Emmy is not quite out of the closet yet. She's bisexual, her immediate family and friends know this, but it's not out in the public yet. And that was basically all I knew about this besides it's Jen Wilde and I would probably cry because Queens of Geek made me cry because of the rep. And my prediction came true, I cried so many times. The first time I started tearing up was on page 29 when Emmy was talking about why she hadn't quite come out to the public yet because she didn't want to be considered a bad bisexual because there's so much biphobia out there and there's so much internalized biphobia. And she knows that being classed a bad bisexual is not logical, but fear is not logical. Not only does this book deal with sexuality, it heavily deals with mental health and gaslighting. Not only is her girlfriend sort of the worst, her parents are terrible. Her parents are ex-rock and rollers that were really mad that they had to stop their partying lifestyle to have a kid and just kind of never quit the partying lifestyle. She's basically been taking care of herself all her life, and when we meet her in the book, she's actually been living in a hotel for the last 6 months at 17 years old because she's not old enough to buy a house yet. Her parents are incredibly emotionally manipulative and just the worst. Especially considering I just finished Pudding, which had great parents. These parents just, there was so many times I just wanted to punch them through the book. Something I didn't see coming is that there are a couple of cameos in this book that you might notice if you've read some of Jen's other work. And unfortunately there was one little timeline issue that I have to talk about because it bothered me. At the beginning of the 7th chapter we're told several days later, this is what's happening. But then within a couple of pages you realize that it's actually only the next day, and this is a line editing issue. Somebody in editing should have caught this. But it goes back and forth between it's been a week and it's only been a day, and whew. There was once where I read a self-published author's work and my biggest criticism was things like this, and he had me actually edit the book for him. Other than that, the only things I can really say without spoiling this book is I really loved the romances that developed. I really loved the Brightsiders' interactions with their fans. And I absolutely loved the plethora of friendships and support system that existed. For Emmy, this really does come down to found family, because her actual family, with the exception of her cousin who is amazing, are crap. It's all about learning that self-care are not bad words, they're actually super important. And just knowing that there's somebody there for you can help you get through struggles. This book was absolutely full of feels and squishes, and you know what, I might actually read it again for the readathon I was supposed to read it for, but I was too impatient. I knew as soon as this book was announced that I was going to love it, and I'm so glad that that was the case. How about you? Are you as excited about this book as I am? Let me know down in the comments below if you're planning on reading it. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!